What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we are going over the Mosquito Girl trial for the Autumn Picnic event. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. We are a day behind in progress. Yesterday was my grandma's funeral celebration thing. And yeah, after that, I pretty much just laid in bed and I was pretty sad and I pretty much cried a lot. When I did get home, and I didn't play any games, I didn't even log in to play this, so we are a day behind in progress, but nonetheless, we've got a bunch of tips and tricks and strategies to go over so that you can unlock the sweep feature for Mosquito Girl Boss. I also do have some additional tips and strategies from a fellow player named Zane. He went ahead and he helped me out and gave me some suggestions with characters and other things as well. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my team build and my strategy. I was able to unlock the sweep feature for the Mosquito Girl first boss. I have not unlocked the sweep feature for the awakened version yet. My first playthrough, I can get it down to like 34%. So I'm kind of close, but I'm definitely not going to be able to get the sweep feature. This does end in like one day, in a few hours. All right, so my cat is just laying on my keyboard and right all over everything. All right, dude, come on, Max. All right, Jesus. All right, so the team that I used was this team right here. We have Amai, Atomic Samurai, Speedosonic, Beast King, Dr. Genus. We used him for his core ability. And then we also had Sky King. We're going to talk briefly about Sky King because this is someone that it's a bit weird. Okay, dude, he's just laying all over. Oh, I wish you guys could see this. He's literally laying across the entire area in front of me. I can't even move my mouse. So the things you really want to look out for are the injure effect, which you're going to be doing with Amai, because whenever he attacks a villain or outlaw, you will inflict the injure effect on them for 2 turns. So we know Mosquito Girl is a villain. And aside from injury, we're also going to be putting on the shatter effect, which is another very, very important status element. They will receive more damage dealt. Now, turn order is extremely important. So for this instance, you would want to have either Amai go first or Beast King, preferably Amai, so that way you do not have to waste your energy to use Beast King's ultimate. For single target damage, it's kind of weak against the boss. You're wasting 2 energy just to basically put off the injure effect on the boss, and it doesn't hit as hard as a lot of your other characters' ultimate abilities can. So for that instance, you really don't want to waste the 2 energy. Try and have Amai go first. Then you're going to use his ultimate. It puts out a ridiculous amount of damage if you do hit 5 consecutive strikes. That's like amazing. When mine hits like 4 or 5, I'm doing almost 100,000 damage just with his one ultimate ability. So very, very deadly. And then of course it's going to immediately put the injure status effect, and then that's going to help out Beast King's passive. That's why it's very important to have the character who goes first immediately put the injure effect on them, so that those other 4 characters will go ahead and trigger Beast King's passive ability to just put out even more damage. And then the person you would want to have go second would be someone like Speedosonic, because he deals a bunch of single target damage, but more importantly, the basic attack puts the shatter effect on the enemy, so you do not even have to waste any of your energy on their ultimate ability. Just do a basic attack and you put the shatter effect on the enemy, so they'll receive more damage. And because of that, these 2, basically you want them to go first. Amai first, Speedo second. That way everyone who attacks after them is getting all that additional shatter effect damage. I then went ahead with Dr. Genus, and this was very simple. We use him for his core ability, increase attack of allies who restore HP by 20%. Because of that, you can go ahead and put like the casual gear sets on some of these characters. I just specifically have it on him. So after he takes an action, he restores an amount of HP, which is most important because of his core ability. Every time someone heals, we get an extra point of energy. So we're getting 2 every turn, which is really, really important. And then because of his passive, it's also going to buff his attack by 20%. So his basic attack can hit really hard as well because of that. Then I have Atomic Samurai, mostly because he is the strongest character I have in this game. His ultimate ability doesn't really help too much because this is better for hitting all enemies when you're facing multiples. When you have a boss battle, this doesn't necessarily help. It does hit slightly hard, and you do have a 50% chance to make the target shatter, but again, it's definitely a lot easier to have speed of sound put the shatter effect on. But what Atomic Samurai is good for is his passive ability. After a duelist ally attacks, he immediately performs a follow-up. So you'll notice that Speed of Sound is a duelist. So right off the bat, every time Speed of Sound does an attack, we're getting that follow-up from Atomic Samurai, which is very, very important. Now let's get to the elephant in the room, the weird one, Sky King. Now this is a bit weird, controversial. It's you kind of really have to test it out and see. We mostly use Sky King just for the passive ability. It's going to increase all of our allies' damage by 20%. Now you do have a maximum of 5 turns for this boss battle. There are 3 turns where he's pretty much useless. You're just using his basic attack, and his basic attack is pretty weak. There are some other characters who are a lot better. One good example would be Subterranean King, and his passive ability isn't going to really help out it either. You're mostly using him because he is a duelist. The Awakened Mosquito Girl is going to get you more materials. It does cost 20 tickets, as the regular one will only cost you 10. Clearing the regular Mosquito Girl boss once varies on your rewards, right? Like when you do this, sometimes you'll get 9 keys, sometimes you'll get 8 keys, sometimes you'll get 7. These are not always guaranteed, so it's really hard to, it's like, see, sometimes you get 13 keys and you get a lot. But overall, it's definitely better to just do this one, even if it does take you 2 times to clear it. If it takes you more than 2 times, then it is definitely not worth it. Then you might as well just come in here and just go sweep, 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 instead of wasting like 60 tickets. 40 can be worth it, but like I said, it's a lot of variables from sweeping the original. Sometimes you'll get a lot of keys. You know, if you do it 4 times and you're getting 12 or 13 keys all 4 times, then this actually ends up being more than if you were to clear that once and only get 40. So it's tough to really say. All right, now let's jump into some additional tips from our fellow player, Zane. He pretty much went over a lot of the same things I did with Amai and Beast King and Speed of Sonic, Atomic Samurai. But some other ones that he mentioned, other characters that have the shatter effect, Golden Ball, Spring Mustachio, Stinger. Injury and shatter effect are the 2 debuffs you need to put on that boss. An SSR that he mentioned is Puri Prisoner. He says, I think this guy is majorly slept on. He does really good single target damage, and his ultimate reduces the enemy's damage by 40%. I personally never had any trouble with my team surviving, but that is definitely something that you can look out for. Another one that he mentioned is Lightning Max. If you wanted to go ahead and do a burn build going up against the boss, Lightning Max is very important. He has amazing single target damage, and then he has that passive ability, so when the enemy is burned, he does a ton of additional damage to that said enemy. Some other characters he mentions for DPS are Deep Sea King, Subterranean. Subterranean was the other guy that I kind of didn't initially like, but you can kind of build him out to have really good single target damage. Another one that he mentioned is Snack. His basic attack hits for 120% attack, which is another one that's really high. Another really good SSR hero that you could use is the Guragagashupa blah blah. Whatever this guy's name is, the little alien looking dude, his basic attack goes ahead and grants a random ally berserk, which is really good. I mean, they put out more damage. So this is another amazing option as well that he mentions. And you also have Child Emperor as another option. Every time he finishes an action, allies in the same row enter that berserk state. For core abilities, you have Dr. Genius, which I went over already. You can also use Justice Power, the one that grants 1 energy per turn and then grants an extra point when an ally enters berserk state, so you can kind of pair this up. One that you definitely don't want to use is Idle Power, restores 6 energy when defeating an enemy character, because you're only going up against a boss, so this is never going to trigger. One that he used was Mosquito Girl. She gives a decent amount of energy and she will revive your tank if it does manage to die. Unfortunately, I do not have Mosquito Girl unlocked, so I can't do that. Stay happy, stay safe, my friends, and I will see y'all very soon with some more One Punch Man, the strongest content. Peace.